Hi everyone, this is my seasoned salt recipe that I was going to do today. You'll find the seasoned salt in my recipe book that I actually have a proper hard copy of. Okay, so there's seasoned salt recipes in there. But I went out this morning, we've got a massive rosemary bush, and we've also got heaps of oregano just coming up wild up in the paddock, up in the hills. So I picked a heap. I'm going to dry some. So all I'll do is I'll strip them off the leaves like that, and I'll put it in one of these little bags that I've got, and I'll just hang it up somewhere to dry. And I'll just give it a stir around every couple of days. So I'm going to do that with the rosemary and the oregano. I haven't got a lot of sage, so I picked some sage. Now, so I'm going to use some of the rosemary and oregano in my seasoned salt, as well as some sage. So it's going to be a really herby one. Some celery tops. I grow celery in a pot that really is just like a herb, so it doesn't grow much bigger than that because I keep trimming it. So that's celery, and parsley keeps getting trimmed too, so it's just all bits and pieces. It'll have garlic in it, which is all locally grown garlic. Lemon that I picked up from the markets the other day. It's a bit of a miserable little one, so I do the lemon rind. Chilies, I don't have any fresh chilies, so I've got some dried chilies that Edmund, my son, gave me, so I'll use some of them. And I'm going to add some mountain pepper berries, which is grown locally as well. So now the salt I'm using this time, I normally like to use a the Murray River pink salt, but it's really hard to get around here. I don't know why I don't have a knife. So I found this in Woolies the other day, and it's Australian salt too. So you know, because I like to use the flakes. Like the texture of a flake. I can pretend I'm all chefy and sprinkle it on. So basically, I think it's a 100 gram pack. No, it's a 200 gram pack. Anyway, my recipe might have 100 grams. So we're going to put lots in anyway. Plenty of herbs. So that's the salt. So just spread it out. Then I'll finish with my lemon rind. So lemon, just the rind only. So if you've got a fine grater is better. And you can use a coarser one, I suppose, but because I don't actually, you can grind this up in a food processor afterwards to make it a finer, more sort of finer mix, but I like to keep it a bit structured, a bit flake textured, so keep it whole. So I tend to do a smaller grind on my lemon. Clumsy. So the lemon can go in. You just pop it all in on top because you're going to stir it around in a minute anyway when we're finished. So lemon, my recipe actually says a quarter of a cup. This is to 100 grams, so this will be double anyway. A quarter of a cup of herbs or parsley or chopped celery leaves. So if you don't grow celery like me, you can use any celery, but you know, if you buy the bunch of celery and just use the, you know, the leafy bits, just that it dries a lot quicker. You can chop up onion if you want to. I'm not going to, or shallots. I'm probably not going to bother today. I'm just going to do lots of herbs. So we'll do the garlic, but some sage. I really like rosemary in it. Pull those leaves off, get some rosemary, a couple of good stalks of rosemary, plenty of rosemary. We want this bush, I've never seen such massive rosemary, so it's wonderful. We've actually had a mild winter apparently, so it's everything's starting to sort of grow better now, as it must be warming up a little bit. Although I've still got a few layers on, so it's still a bit cold for us Queenslanders down here in Canberra. Or we actually don't live in Canberra anymore, we're out at Womboyne, which is just a little New South Wales suburb type thing. It's not really a suburb, it's we call it a locality, so it's just out of Canberra. On the northern or southern side of Canberra? I think it's northern. northern side of Canberra. So once again, I'll try and chop this up fairly small because the rosemary is a bit bigger. But, you know, you can be pretty rough because once it dries, it sort of crumbles a bit more. So, oh, we didn't put any oregano in that, did we? So a bit of oregano. So this is going to be a really herby one. I haven't had any for a while and I've been really missing it. I like to have a bit of the seasoned salt on hand all the time. It's great for sprinkling on roast veggies. I do a lot of roast veggies, like roast potatoes or just a mixed veggie. We like doing this veggie salads. Great on steak or chops. It's good to add to those the cracker recipe that I've got because gives a bit of salt and flavour, and then you can eat the crackers. They're just like chips. They're delicious. This garlic's starting to get a bit old, but it's got to last me a few more months yet before the next harvest. So I'll set up nice and fine. Nice and fine for you. Well, not fine, but you know, fairly small chops for your parsley. Alright, put that in there. What about now? Some pepper. These pepper berries are quite interesting because they're actually almost a bit of a sweeter flavour. Now, in the recipe I say a teaspoon, but you know, you can put more or less. This isn't really too hot. It does have a bit of a berry sort of sweetness to it. So I'll put plenty in there. I have to buy some more the way I'm going with this stuff. And we'll put some chilli. Not really quite sure how hot these chilies are, I can't remember, so we'll only put the one in. Now I don't really need to put this in now because it's dry anyway, but I'll just chop it up a bit. Not really fine. So, bits and pieces, bits of lemon. Now we just mix that through, and just didn't even say what temperature oven mixed. Oh, preheat oven to 100 degrees. Yeah. So we've got the oven. So it's just a really low oven because you're actually not cooking it. All you want to do is dry those herbs out. And I mean, honestly, you could probably do it in a food dryer if you wanted to, but it's just a bit quicker in the oven. Although I do have a food dryer going at the moment because I'm drying some vegetables for young Astrid. Righto, so that's the seasoned salt. I'll probably just take a photo of it when I'm finished and I'll post that at some stage. But yeah, that's it.